Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Sports Medicine, offering services for sports injury and recovery, with physicians and athletic trainers who provide treatment for fractures, dislocations, sprains, strains, and other sports-related issues. More information on services at stalphonsus.org.
Family, work, school, you've got a lot going on. I'm Aisha Roscoe from NPR. We know you're busy, so we've made staying informed easy. The Boise State Public Radio mobile app is a hassle-free way to keep up with the latest news and stories. Whether you're cooking dinner, folding laundry, or just tackling your daily to-do list, staying in the know has never been so simple. Download the free Boise State Public Radio app today, so even when you're busy, you'll never miss a beat. And join me for Weekend Edition every Sunday morning from 6 to 10 on Boise State Public Radio News.
It's the Connector Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. It's Tuesday, April 28th. I'm Troy Oppie. Thanks for listening. Here are today's headlines. For the second time in just over 2 years, Albertsons is being sued by the state of Washington. Thousands of Idahoans have dropped their health insurance coverage since the year began. And the Trump administration has withdrawn the president's controversial nominee to lead the National Park Service. First up on this Tuesday, organizers behind a move to decriminalize abortion in Idaho say they have the signatures needed to show up on election ballots across the state this November. Here's Jamie Geary with more.
The Reproductive Freedom and Privacy Act would allow doctors to perform abortions in Idaho without the threat of jail time. The nonprofit Idahoans United for Women and Families created the ballot measure. Executive Director Melanie Falwell says the initiative would return Idaho to its previous abortion laws before Roe v. Wade was overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court in 2022.
Our hope is that this is one significant step back towards stabilizing our healthcare system in asserting that people deserve dignity and privacy as it relates to their medical care.
Idaho's abortion ban is among the strictest in the country. The medical procedure is illegal with only 2 exceptions, in cases of rape or incest or when the mother's life is in danger. Healthcare providers face 2 to 5 years in prison if found guilty of violating the current law. A Journal of the American Medical Association study finds more than a third of OBGYNs left the state in the 2 years since the repeal of Roe. Falwell says the ballot measure could encourage doctors to return for in-person care.
We hope to get back to an Idaho that is a place doctors want to be.
The initiative has been signed by more than 105,000 Idahoans, about 10% of the state's voting population. Jamie Geary, Boise State Public Radio News.
Does Ada County Commissioner Ryan Davidson live where he's registered with the county? That's the question his political challenger, Holly Cook, is asking, and the county is now investigating. The Idaho Statesman reports Cook filed a formal complaint on Friday, claiming Davidson's current voter registration address is a vacant lot. Davidson told the Statesman he lives in a home currently listed for sale next to the lot that is listed as his address, and he plans to build at the registered address. The vacant lot includes a mailbox directing deliveries next door. Previous online streetcar images show a residential structure on the property, which is now gone, according to the Statesman. Cook claims an inaccurate address would require Davidson's voter registration to be canceled, and that would invalidate his candidacy for re-election to the county commission. Ada County Clerk's Office says it is investigating. An Eastern Idaho jury has ruled in favor of a black Idaho State University pharmacy student who claims she was discriminated against. The Idaho State Journal reports Chanika Sintema had sued the school for $3.4 million, but was awarded $160,000 by the jury for vocational rehabilitation, retraining, and lost earnings. The jury awarded no damages for pain and suffering claims or lost future earnings. Sintema claimed she was treated differently than her white classmates over attendance requirements, and that treatment led to her dismissal from the school. ISU, in a statement, said while it disagreed with the decision, it would respect the judicial process and look to move forward. The school says its existing policies and procedures allow every student to have a safe and respectful learning environment. Last fall, Your Health Idaho predicted 25,000 Idahoans would disenroll from state insurance plans when Affordable Care Act tax credits expired and premiums increased as a result. As Jackson Holmes reports, that forecast proved accurate.
Many tax credits that help lower insurance premiums expired in December after the U.S. Congress failed to pass an extension. Your Health Idaho's executive director and CEO, Pat Kelly, says about 25,000 Idahoans have withdrawn from their state insurance plan since the beginning of this year.
We're not 100% sure where they go, but we do expect that a large portion of those Idahoans will go without coverage.
Premiums cost Idahoans roughly $100 more each month than they did in 2025. Without tax credits to compensate for that 10% increase, affordability is a big concern. Kelly says this year's disenrollment numbers are higher than past years, but he hopes they will plateau soon.
We believe that we're past the worst of this disenrollment, and we're optimistic that we're back to business as usual for the remainder of the year.
Jackson Holmes, Boise State Public Radio News.
Gas prices in Idaho are up more than $1 compared to a year ago. That's not news, of course. Travel Club AAA, though, which tracks gas prices nationwide, is warning that a recent surge in crude oil prices could push fuel prices even higher in the coming weeks. West Texas Intermediate crude jumped more than $10 a barrel in the last week, now up to $97 a barrel. AAA Idaho spokesperson Matthew Condi says the club expects a roller coaster ride of fuel prices for automotive gas, diesel, and jet fuel as long as geopolitical issues around Iran persist. As for current prices at the pump, the cheapest gas in Idaho is in Franklin, in southeast Idaho, as well as Lewiston, both $4.11 a gallon on average, according to AAA. The most expensive areas are in Boise, Twin Falls, and Pocatello, all about 25 cents more a gallon. Ada County plans to build a new pedestrian bridge over the Boise River connecting the north and south side portions of the Greenbelt. Boise Dev reports the county will use grant funding from the local Highway Technical Assistance Council and the transportation planning group Compass to link the two sides of the Greenbelt, where the southern portion ends in a neighborhood at 52nd Street in Garden City. The bridge will connect that point to the north side Greenbelt on Plantation Island. Traversing that section now to reach Expo Idaho requires detouring onto local streets. Boise Dev reports the county has taken over the project from Garden City at the city's request and is in the process of identifying designers with a goal of completing the project by approximately spring of 2028. For the second time in 3 years, Washington State is suing Albertsons. From KUOW Radio in Seattle, Scott Greenstone has more.
Washington State says the Albertsons company misled shoppers at Safeways, Albertsons, and Haggen's in Washington in over 3 million buy one, get one free transactions. Attorney General Nick Brown.
When people are going in, excited about a deal, excited about a bargain, and it's really nonsense.
Investigators found in 2021 at a Safeway in Colville, mini watermelons were $3.99 on May 31st. 2 days later, they were $5.99, just in time for a buy one, get one free promotion. Albertsons said in a statement that they, quote, strongly disagree with these claims and that they're based on data errors that they raised to the Attorney General's office. I'm Scott Greenstone in Seattle.
Washington State was among many states that sued Albertsons and Kroger in early 2024 over the two companies' now failed attempt to merge. President Trump has pulled the controversial nominee to lead the National Park Service from consideration. Trump, in mid-February, nominated Scott Sosha for the job. Critics quickly pointed out his lack of government experience and a potential conflict of interest from his existing role as head of Parks and Resorts for Delaware North. That's a hospitality contractor widely used by the Park Service. Others viewed his insider role as beneficial. NPR reports Sosha was also facing ethics concerns within the confirmation process. Parks advocacy groups celebrated the withdrawal, calling Sosha deeply unqualified for the job. The Park Service has been without a Senate-confirmed director since the start of Trump's second term. That is not abnormal for that role. The 39th annual Twilight Criterium Bike Race is set for downtown Boise July 11th. Race organizers say the total purse this year for the pros is $500,000. Boise is the fourth of 6 race events on the American Criterium Cup Tour. The event also includes kids and family races. The kids race with Olympic gold medal winner Kristen Armstrong will start at 11 a.m. on race day. Again, that's this coming July 11th. The Idaho Steelheads stayed alive in the Kelly Cup playoffs with a 5-1 Game 4 victory over Allen Monday night in Boise. The Steelies scored twice in the opening 7 minutes to take control. Game 5, another must-win, trailing 3-1 in the series, is tonight in Boise at 7 o'clock. A win would send the Steelheads back to Texas for Game 6 and, if necessary, Game 7. And that's today's episode of The Connector. Thanks for listening. I'm Troy Oppie. I'll be back with you again tomorrow. In the meantime, make sure you've downloaded the Boise State Public Radio mobile app to your smartphone. You can find it for free in your favorite app store. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all the local news and take all of our streams, our news, classical, and jazz programming with you wherever you go. Make it a great day.
You know, every day on Up First, NPR's Golden Globe-nominated morning news podcast, we bring you 3 essential stories. At the heart of each story are questions. What really happened? What really mattered? What happens next? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious and to follow the facts. Follow Up First wherever you get your podcasts and start your day knowing what matters and why.